Anyway, we're looking at the Cycle 3 mini grant stipends. These, we've had two cycles so far, and we heard from Carlos, who's finishing up on a project from, I think you're in the second round, correct, Carlos? And
Yes, that's right.
one of the things that I wanted to point out is Maria, who's on the meeting here, is an advisor for all of the XR projects that are being done. She comes with a lot of industry experience. It's a great person to work with. And so, Carlos, if you have any questions, as you move forward on your project, Maria would be one great contact person. And then Michelle is also, who's working in the OER side of things, is the other consultant for that. And so I just wanted to let you know about that.
I appreciate it. I've touched base with Maria. She's been very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, she's great. Okay, so I wanted to share my screen here for the agenda. Is everyone seeing the mini grant series announcement?
Yep. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to just go through this very quickly. This is the key information here. The proposal deadline is coming up on October 31st, so that's within about 5 weeks. The project duration is from December 1st, 2025 through July 31st up, and actually I would imagine into August 2026 for completion of them. The recipients of the mini grants will be announced on December 1st. So October 1st being the delivery of the proposals, that gives us the full month of November to review them. And then we provide the final announcements for recipients for the grant on December 1st. Every year we started this past year, we have a project showcase where people who are working on projects are able to present the work they're doing, either if it's completed or it's in a semi-complete state. And it's just fun to hear from everybody, but it's an optional engagement for those. But we had a really good turnout for the last showcases we did earlier in the year. We're looking for a maximum of 15 recipients. I think that's going to be the most recipients we'll be able to handle just logistically for these projects, because they require some attention and engagement and a variety of things. And so that's the overview. And I wanted to point out just some of the guidelines for this project. So it is funded by the National Science Foundation. We're working with faculty, academic professionals, librarians, and faculty-hosted students. That's an important category as well to complete extended reality educational projects. These don't have to be productions of virtual worlds. This is development of curriculum that can be integrated with the technology. And so there's a variety of projects, and Michelle will have a chance to sort of touch base on this a little bit when she talks about open educational resources. These can be pilot projects, explorations, but it requires a proposal. We review it, and then materials are produced for use in open educational resource setting so that anyone has access to it. And again, Michelle will talk to you about open source copyright permissions that we need to have for these projects so anyone can have access to them through Washington State. And the eligibility I just talked about a little bit. I have a link to the project proposal submission. In fact, I'll copy this and put this into chat here. Stand by. We have some people joining us as well. Almost missed them here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead here. So we have the application process. The project proposal outlines the content and scope of the idea. And again, the deadline is October 31st. So we have a network of a steering committee of folks from the NWXREDU Network who will be reviewing these proposals. And we've had really great results so far, and lots of interesting projects have come through. Maria will have a chance to talk about those in just a second here. And so there are some criteria here. We're basically looking to make sure we can't really be engaged with people who are working on a commercial side who are looking to work on a project they're going to leverage for commercial applications since this is for open source, open educational purposes. That's kind of one of the main filters that we have in place. Otherwise, it's quite open. So the stipends are $1,000 for the planned duration of the project, and those are paid after completion and submission of the project as OER. So the maximum project length in this case is 8 months for that $1,000. And these maximum limits also apply to team submissions. I've left my email here. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. And there are other members of the committee who might, depending on what your question is, be able to get back in touch with you as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop share here. Tiesa, nice to see you. Also, Will, welcome to the meeting. It's nice to see both of you. Tessa's working on this really interesting nursing simulation project, and hopefully we'll hear more about that in another meeting moving forward, Tessa. It's really great stuff that you've done with Kelsey, who's at Chemeketa College in Oregon. And Will's working, by the way, we had introductions later, but Will, I just wanted to just mention you're at Renton Technical College and you're involved with this relationship between XR and AI, right? And so that's a common theme. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Maria, she's our main technical advisor and our contact person for the projects coming through, and she's great at this stuff. And she's going to talk about some of the projects that have been completed and just give you a nature of the range of projects that have been done so far.
Thanks, Bruce. I just sent on the chat a link to the Northwest Open XR initiative, and this is the place where we are compiling all the OER resources that we are creating here. I'm gonna share my screen to guide you through that website so we can see some of the projects we have there. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so some of the projects here are part of the mini grant, but are other projects that are also related to the grant that are open educational resources. For example, XR Tools for Teaching is something that I work on, and some of you have been part of the workshops that we have been doing on Fridays, where we talk about XR tools that are easy to access, low cost, to create XR experiences. So here you can see like the full course, and you can access to the different tutorials that we created. So that's one example. Like for example, if you want to teach how to use a specific tool and create tutorials on that, that can be an open educational resource. Then if I go back here, these are the projects that we create during the course I was teaching during winter and spring, but some of the faculty also apply for the mini grant. So for example, we have this that is exploring atoms in 3D and is a VR application that helps students to understand how atoms work and how electrons combine, how you can create different molecules and all of that. So you have like all the documentation here. You have a trailer of the project, and same for the other two projects that we create in the class, performance playground, that is with the music faculty, where we created like a VR simulation of a stage, so people that are learning how to play an instrument, they can practice stage fear in front of that. And then we also have one for wheelchair users, where when you spend all your time on a wheelchair, you need to do some types of exercise so you don't get health related issues like ulcers and things like that. So you have to do a specific exercise, and this is a VR game that the goal of the game is to collect some coins, and the way you collect these coins is by doing those exercises. So it's just making this task that is very repetitive some kind like fun. And then we also have these that you might are familiar with, that is done with RISA, where we scan different anatomic models that were created with just like different materials, and they created like a VR gallery. So this is just the ones that are on here, but we also have a lot of different projects that are coming up, and we hope they will be ready to publish in the next couple of months. Or like all kind of different, like public safety. I don't know. There are like a lot of different options, and I hope this gives you an overview of the different things that you can create that can be published in under OER. I think the main thing, it has to have a learning outcome somehow, and then be connected with XR technologies.
This is as we're talking about these projects, Tiesa, I'm wondering if you could just mention a bit about the project that you're working on with Kelsey and what the nature of that is and the kind of OER that you're developing.
Yeah, so I coordinated with Kelsey from remind me how the name is pronounced, Bruce.
Chemeketa.
Chemeketa. So sorry, I'm coming back after sabbatical, and my brain is not working, and I also have a child who just started 6th grade as well. So I'm working with Kelsey though at Chemeka, it's Southern Oregon, and so both of us are nursing faculty, and we both were using virtual reality. And what we did is we collaborated together to look at how we're teaching, what are our teaching similarities and what are our teaching differences? What are the similarities between the technology that we're using for VR, and what were some of the differences related to feasibility of implementation and ease of use? And then we created some standard guidelines, some standard guidelines for what it would look like to develop a virtual reality scenario, and how you use, it's called simulation, best standards of practice in simulation, to create that outline. And then we did course mapping as well, relating it to the learning outcomes. So that's a guide that was created, and it's almost ready to upload onto the OER, the website. And then we also did a podcast with Bruce where we talked about the value of virtual reality in nursing education, some of the challenges of it, best teaching practices with it. Those were the main things I think that we had discussed, but it's pretty exciting.
So the projects are, this is another reason I thought this would be valuable is, Maria showed a bunch of projects where they're actually producing VR world content and all of that. In this case, you're developing, anyone who wants to get involved with VR for nursing has the benefit of yours and Kelsey's experience teaching with these tools and some of the challenges that inevitably came up with that, right? And so that's the package, right? It's not building a world, but describing your pedagogy for working with these tools. Anyway, thanks, Tiesa.
Okay. Can I add one more thing, Bruce? Would that be okay? So I wanted to share, I just recently got back from the National League for Nursing Summit, and it was on AI and nursing. And talk about my mind being expanded. The way that they're utilizing AI in nursing education. I'll be transparent. I feel like we're behind a little bit at Bellevue in our nursing program with the use of AI. And we really need to partner with the XR lab and technology as well, like the IT support, because what they're doing is they're actually using AI to record some of the debriefings of the facilitator, and then you type in the Anaxel best standards of practice, and it gives you feedback on this rubric that we utilize, and so it takes some of that bias out. The other thing that they're doing is they'll take, like, you take your phone and you have AI be a patient, and you put it underneath your simulation mannequin. Instead of me being the voice of the mannequin, which I typically am, AI is the voice, and it does coaching back and forth. So I know you'd mentioned that to me, Bruce, like a year ago, and I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And I was like, Oh, that's what Bruce was talking about. So
Oh, Tiesa, very quickly, I don't know if you saw an email I sent to you and Kelsey. It was from Azar from Avella, who is interested in looking at nursing simulations. And so if you're interested you and Kelsey might be interested in touching bases with him to see what ideas he has. I could set up a
sure.
meeting if you like.
Yeah, I'll follow up with that. I have it. I did see that email, so I'll follow up with
Oh,
you this week.
oh,
Yeah.
terrific. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks
well,
everyone.
your program and your materials you produce is a nice lead into Michelle, who's our
Yeah,
OER librarian, she's expert on all
yeah.
things OER and Creative Commons and libraries and all that.
And I can give you all Maria showed you our published materials, and I can give you a sneak peek of some of the stuff in the background that is not quite published. Tiesa, yours is one of those. If you want, I'm happy to show your rubric. If you want to share, so here, let me share my screen for a second.
Happy to share. I'm happy to share it. We're
It's
just still updating it, and I think we had a couple more things we needed to do, Michelle.
Totally. It's not, yes. Okay, let me see. What have I done here? So this is the as Maria showed you, this is the Northwest Open XR Initiative. This is our OER Commons. OER Commons is a platform for publishing open educational resources. And we chose this one because it's what is already being used by Open Washington, which is the statewide OER initiative. And so we can just kind of join in on their work, but we have our own little group. And Will, I noticed you joined today. Anybody here is welcome to if you go to this website, you're seeing me logged in, but you would just go to I think you click on it would probably say join this group here because I'm in leave this group and you can fill out the form and then we accept new members. Anybody can't join. I need to know who you are, and I recognize everybody's name here, and any of the mini grant recipients, and all of Maria's students are all members of this. And then you can publish on here. And so here are some examples. A lot of these you could see because Maria showed you, but here's an example of one that's not published yet. This is a faculty here at Bellevue College who is working with the Lotta Reiniger's silhouette film model and create and what she has done is there are several videos on here of her work and images that we carefully uploaded, but basically what Lilu has done here is created a lesson plan for any faculty member or anybody who wants to teach this type of film creation. It's stop animation, silhouette film stuff. I don't know. But this particular material is basically a lesson plan for other faculty or anybody to use. And then some of her she's got her the resources that she consulted to gather that. So that's an example that's similar to what Tiesa has done. And let me open hers.
Oh, excuse me, Michelle, can
Yes,
I
go
just
ahead.
mention something? I think the interesting approach Li Lu has is
Mhm.
she's looking at this traditional silhouette-based animation as a form of world building. And I thought that was an interesting juxtaposition, of, early animation and filmmaking really is about creating perceptual realms, right? And this was an examination of that from a world building standpoint. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah. And so this is what a resource looks like uploaded here on OER Commons. And I will say that all mini grant recipients and the students who published on here, Maria's resources and XR tools and teaching, everything that we release on here, everything that we publish on here has a Creative Commons by license, which just means it's open, it's an open source material. You can use anything on here, edit it, change it. You just need to give credit. So for instance, if somebody wanted to use Maria's class XR Tools and Teaching, they can have her Canvas course, they can do whatever they want with it. They just need to say, this was originally created by Maria through Bellevue College. And also all mini grant recipients there is, even though these are open licensed materials, there still is copyright ownership And that copyright ownership is shared by Bellevue College, the NSF grant grantees, and the mini grant recipients. So Lee Lu and we share the copyright ownership of this silhouette film and extended reality. And this Tiesa and Kelsey's work, this virtual reality and career technical education, that will everything here basically, and she explained it. It's a rubric, and yeah, just how other nursing faculty could take this model and use it for themselves. If they want to use that, they just need to then give credit to uh, Tiesa, Kelsey, and Bellevue College for the use of that. Let's see, what else did I want to show? I think that's it. Oh, no, the other thing I wanted to show is on here in our guide. Sorry, I have too many windows open. I'm just going to go back to our group. So here are all of the published or unpublished. You can see when it says draft, it's not published. The one thing was created by James Riggle primarily, and with my support. We created guidelines for what is acceptable to submit, just to outline the types of materials we accept. So let me open that. And we were really careful to say these are just ideas. So for types of materials, we accept prototypes and interactives, workshops, professional development materials, application guides, primers, however you want to pronounce that. Lots of different types of content, full courses like Maria's. But the sky's a little bit the limit. You and I can have a conversation about what we think is acceptable. And that's when we accept new mini grant recipients, we have a conversation with them about what XR they want to create, but then also what they want to release to the public as an open educational resource.
Oh, Michelle, I was wondering if you
Yes.
could just touch on Azar's project with the
Oh
Avella
yeah. His is
students,
a great one. His is
because
an
it's a,
example. Yeah, it's kind of an application. It's sort of a primer. So hold on, let me get back to that. Yeah, Azar, his is not published yet, but this is somebody from the Avella group. Where is it? Gaussian Splat for storytelling. It's super cool. So everybody, we've sort of set a an example of we want, yeah, an image that kind of draws your attention when you're looking through a video that explains the background of the project, like Tiesa and Kelsey's is a podcast interview with Bruce, which is really fun. Here, what Azar has done is he has a video that is his presentation about his project, and it's supported by this PowerPoint, this Gaussian Splat for storytelling PowerPoint. So you can follow it along and find and learn about his project and what tools you might use to create your own to follow his model of Gaussian Splat. And outside of Gaussian Splat, I really don't understand the technology. My world is to understand the licensing. So, Bruce, if you have any more to add about what Azar has done, please do
well,
jump
I
in.
just thought he actually was using Gaussian splatting reconstructs a three-dimensional environment. He was using a drone in Judkins Park, flying around it as a way of visualizing it for a community group in the Central District. And so this project, and this is a good example of working with student-based projects. There's a couple of other students who are within Avella that Azar is working with, who are also creating projects of their own. So this is a nice variation in terms of what's possible.
Yeah, and then the last, so Maria did fantastic work with her students, and all of her student projects were published on here. And some of those were mini grant recipients. They consulted with Maria. Which if that's something that interests you, you can talk to Maria more. But the work that they did was just astonishing, I think.
Yeah. I'm almost thinking, Carlos, you're still here, aren't you? I'm just looking for you.
Yes, I see him.
Carlos, I'm wondering, just have a couple more things to mention, and I'm wondering if you could give us a view of your SeekBeak project.
Yeah, I
and
did put that in the chat, so I would love it if you could perhaps click in there, and I would love to talk about it and just kind of like just I would love to like pretend I'm the narrator.
well, no, you could be the narrator. You're the expert there, right?
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
okay, I think I found it here. Let me see if I can open it and share it here. Just a second. Okay.
Wonderful.
Oh, all right. I'm in the Hop Museum entrance here, so stand by. I'm going to share that screen.
Awesome.
Okay, is everyone seeing this?
Yep.
Wonderful. So yeah, this is the entrance view of when patrons first come into the American Hops Museum. And from here, we have been working with the president of their board, for their museum board. And what we envision is to have his audio that he provided while actually giving us like in real life tours. Um, to kind of narrate this first part when people enter, and so they'll kind of get a like quick overview of what the American Hop Museum is, and then throughout the page you can see these different buttons. Wherever you click, it gives our visitors another chance to look at different parts of this space. So
Are the buttons aren't active now, right?
they should take you from
Oh, here we
here
go. I
to
found
other
it.
spaces. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just
Oh, no
missed them.
worries, no worries. So this is the family wall. They're very proud. It documents more than a century of hop growing in the region, and we're working with the director because we have access to their archives to digitize these photos and provide people text blocks and the ability to click on these pictures and see a kind of blown up view. That's a picture that of Cora Hill, and she's kind of like a centerpiece, at least for a long time. They've uh, recreated her photograph many times into different paintings and art, as we can see. And it's just a way to get people oriented with this unique history. The 360 pictures did a pretty good job of picking up the details, but we really would like to have much better actual scans of these photographs, and we worked it out in our memorandum of understanding that we'd be able to do that. Of course, they would, keep the rights to their images. We wanted to make this more of a partnership than an extractive
Yeah,
partnership as a library
I
and
can
working with this
understand.
museum.
So it's possible then you could take a regular photograph of this and then actually bring up a higher resolution of the photo of any of these objects on the wall, correct?
That's what we wanted to do. We're envisioning so folks can kind of at least simulate that experience. So yeah, please, we also took the time to walk our visitors throughout each of the different paths of this museum. So they explore indigenous history and early working history in the valley, and the beginnings of mechanization from collecting and harvesting hops by hand, the curing process, honestly, and then also the modern byproducts. So if you go ahead and make so this will take us back into the family room.
Okay,
And so
where do you
let's
want
go
me to?
ahead and orient right and keep going. That's
Okay,
to the entrance. And yeah, so this is another viewing hall. So this is a display that they have next to their board kind of meeting room and gathering space. And we wanted to give people a chance to be able to look at all of their display areas and kind of get oriented with the layout.
nice.
Another thing too that to know is that we actually have two different VR experiences. We have this uh, guided tour, and then we have the original before a larger remodel.
Oh,
So it's kind of
interesting.
interesting. As an archivist, I'm interested in preserving institutional history. So this is something that I found really cool. Like before this big remodel and renovation of the and restoration of their exhibits, I got a chance to get that old history and as well as their new ones. So Yeah, so we can go back into that room. If you click that button through that doorway, and then if you turn to your right, and if you click that button there that you have, and then if you turn to your left, and there's a button in here that'll let you take these things. And then if you turn to your right, there are several different buttons that'll take you into different places.
Let me try this one here.
So I'm gonna take 1 second, folks. I actually am a librarian as well, and I have a patron in here that I was expecting. So give me just 1 second, and I'll be right back. I want to orient him towards the resources he came here to look at. My staff is not quite finding it. Give me a moment.
Okay.
This is a great resource. This
Yeah,
is really,
it's a great use of SeekBeak. It falls in, falls in
Mhm.
spatial computing. The idea that everything doesn't have to be in a headset, right? Anything
Mhm.
working with spatial orientation and develop and presenting information in a spatial way falls under that XR category. I think that's one point of view, but I think this is all a spatial computing type of experience. I'll go ahead and move forward. And then we are getting close to the end of the hour here, so I'm going to,
This hour went quick this time, Bruce.
well, it did. Yeah, it just
It really
flew
did,
by.
actually. For me.
So this really gives me a good idea of what they're working on. I think it would be
Mhm.
great if they're able to be able to connect to some of these photographs so that you can see them up close and sharper than it's as you
Mhm.
get further away, they're a little bit harder to read, but the closer ones I think are. Anyway, I think this is quite a cool
So
project.
I am back. Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to
Okay.
get that patron those resources. So yeah, all throughout these. So this is there's pest control. So I believe like that one right there. Go ahead and click that button. It'll take you into the, what we the beginning of the curing and harvesting process, diseases. That's a timeline that they developed, and then of course into that green hop bin. Yeah, and then we also were able to do 3D VR scans of their exterior. They have wonderful murals that they developed chronicling the history of hop growing in the area. Um, there are honestly a ton of different images that could be potentially shared, and so we're really excited about this. And what we're really hoping to do is to educate more people in the not only Yakima Valley, but throughout whoever comes across this project with, well, it's shared through this network, the chance to learn about this history, and to talk about like some voices that really haven't been highlighted, specifically indigenous people who've have been a part of this hop growing and hop harvesting history since the very beginning. And it's that unique legacy that's something to be highlighted. And yeah, this just the people in the community here have been really excited to be a part of this project. And
Carlos,
so the agreement that we worked out was, yeah, they of course get their own copy in addition to what is going to be shared in the OER resource bank that you folks have developed.
excellent. Well, thanks, Carlos. Big
Appreciate it.
high five, round of applause. Um, We are at the end of the hour here. It's important that we always end on time for everyone's sake. It's a busy week. Anyway, it's great to see everybody, and I'm glad Celeste and Morgan. It was nice to see you show up at this meeting, and we're looking forward to Morgan. You have a proposal that's coming through. It'll be fun to see what you have, and Celeste, I guess we'll be meeting with you later this week, so that'll be fun. Okay, that's everything I have for today. And if you check the agenda, we do have a link to our Discord channel. It's our back channel communications location between meetings. And so if you have a chance to check it out or contribute to it, that would be great.